What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video from the War Within Alpha. Now today we're starting the Profession Overview video series, and in this one I want to do an overall kind of overview on professions as a whole in the War Within, a couple of the notable changes, and just talking about professions in general. Now let's just get right into it. The first thing about professions in the War Within is that we have two brand new kind of stats that we have to think about whenever we're crafting. So we have something called concentration. Concentration, as you can see in the top left of my inscription screen right here, we have 500 concentration. This is a stat that recharges over time. We don't know by exact how much, I think, but it just recharges over time. Let's say you get 1 concentration per minute or 30 every half hour or something like that. So it will recharge somewhat slowly over time. Now, what is concentration? Well, it's basically inspiration, but in a more controlled way. So if I'm going over to, let's go over to milling, see if I have enough skills for milling. I do not, so if I go over to a rank 3, in this case, I'm really close to getting tier 2. But I'm currently making tier 1. As you can see, it has a recipe difficulty of 250, and I have 118 skill. That being said, I am offsetting some of that skill by using a high quality reagent, which if you don't know about professions from Dragonflight, if you use a rank 3 herb, you will get way more than if you use a rank 1 herb, so you definitely want to go for rank 3s as long as you can. That way you get more skill points. Now back to concentration, what this is that you can offset what you're missing here to guarantee the next rank. Now you can see that I'm really close to rank 2, so I have to use 1 concentration point in order to guarantee rank 2. And to do that, you left click, apply concentration, and then you start crafting. And as you can see, now we should always get rank 2, which we currently don't, because this is still broken on the beta, which is really dumb, but you should get rank 2 every single time. So by applying your concentrations, you would then guarantee the next rank, but also you would spend concentration at the same time. Going over to ink, for example, for this one I'm lacking way more. Here I'm like in the middle of the tree. I'm also using rank 2 reagents, so rank 2 lure drop pigment and rank 2 nacreous pigment, and I'm trying to make an ink. In this one, the recipe difficulty is 200 and I have 55 skill, and I'm using rank 2 reagents. If I was using rank 1, I would have even less skill, but as you can see, based on my reagents, I'm basically in the middle of the tree. I'm just between rank 1 and between rank 2. Now, in order for me to guarantee rank 2, I can apply 16 concentration per craft, which means that for me I can do just about 20 crafts, 30 crafts or something, 30-ish crafts, and then I would be capped on concentration and I would not have any left. So once again, you spend your concentration to guarantee the next rank, so it's inspiration but controllable and recharges over time. So concentration, you spend the points you have to guarantee the next rank, and the more skill you're missing, the more concentration you have to use to offset the imbalance. Now I said we have 2 new stats. The other one is called Ingenuity. Ingenuity, with 0%, you have a 0.0% chance to have an ingenious breakthrough when you concentrate on a craft, refunding all concentration spent. So on this one, you basically have inspiration while using concentration, so you have a chance while using concentration to reset your concentration and give you all of them back. Basically an RNG mechanic on the concentration, which I'm not sure how to feel about, but it's pretty cool either way, especially if we're not able to stack this massively, and you would have to make a choice between that stat and multicraft, for example, on your profession tools and accessories. Now, for the most part, professions work the same way. As a scribe, for example, we have the same kind of specialization points. We have archival editions, careful carvings, pursuit of knowledge, and perfection. Now, all of these basically focuses on different things, and we have the same types of skill trees, kind of. They look very similar to Dragonflight for the most part. Now, a couple of professions have gotten some additional changes, but for the most part, it's a lot of the same with new names. Now, one of the notable changes is that enchanters will now be able to make Algerian mana oils, which means that mana oils are back, baby, and that's another thing that you have to think about when it comes to your consumes. This one coats your weapon in Algerian mana oil, increasing your critical strike and haste by 227 for 120 minutes. So this one could be used for both melee and for casters alike, because it gives you both critical strike and haste, which is wanted by pretty much everyone. And as you can see, it requires 450, like that's the recipe difficulty, to get the highest rank. And if you want to sell these and make gold from them, you want to have the highest rank as well. Now, once again, you can use your concentration to offset the imbalance and guarantee the highest rank as well. So the less rank you have, the more concentration you have to make. You have to spend. Now, enchanters also have the ability to craft something called a concentration concentrate, which is basically a finishing crafting reagent, which makes it so you use 4% less concentration when concentrating on a craft. Now, the 4% here is based on quality tier 2, so being able to craft quality tier 3 could either push this to 5% or even 6%, making this a pretty valuable crafting reagent to have if it's cheap to make. Now, Enchanting has gotten a couple of other changes as well. You will no longer be able to find those kind of mystical objects that we found in Dragonflight. They are not here as of right now on the alpha. Instead, we have a whole talent tree specified on being a disenchanter, giving you more skill when disenchanting and then being able to spec into epics, blues or greens, giving you even more skill when disenchanting those specific qualities of weapons and armor, and it also gives you more reagents while disenchanting that specific type. So for example, you have a chance to receive some of Cass Algar's native magical essences when disenchanting epic equipment by speccing into epic, and at the end you also get additional crystals while doing this as well, or you get more stuff basically when disenchanting epics, and rares for this one and greens for this one. So if you want to have a disenchantment character, you want to have one character specced only into these, that's 120 skill points, spent only in the designated disenchanter tree. Now I'm gonna have separate videos covering one profession per video, talking about all the changes, but for this one I wanted to focus on the general changes and how professions work in the War Within. With that being said, there's one more profession that has received a couple of big updates, that is Herbalism. For Herbalism, you are now able to make something called a Empowered Mulch, Imbued Mulch, and Magical Mulch. This is basically an item that gives you even more of whatever herb you're looting. So Empowered Mulch, prepare the mulch for use, you will apply to the next herb you gather, granting you a giant amount of finesse. Now finesse just gives you simply more stuff whenever you are gathering. So going over here, we still have the same ones. So you have finesse, deftness, and perception. So finesse simply gives you more of the primary reagent you are farming for. So if you find the reagent you want, if you find the herb you want, if you find the infused herb you want, you can then choose to apply mulch to get even more, and this has a cooldown. In addition, for Herbalism specifically, we have the ability to find seeds, and not only that, we can specify into what seeds you want to find, and they can be planted at the Hallowfall farm. So instead of flying around the Dragon Isles and looking for soils to plant the seeds, we have a farm dedicated for seeds, which is absolutely fantastic. And then skilling through this entire tree, you can find more and better seeds as you go through, and then you can plant them on the farm, which I hope and think is going to be something similar to the Mr. Pandaria farm. Now, when it comes to learning your Castle Guard professions or the War Within professions, you will get access to those really early, as the first zone you will start in is in the Castle Guard, in which case you will find the main capital. You will basically start roughly where I'm pointing right now, and you will progress through the zone, and then this is going to be the capital, called Dornogal right here. Not the Rookery, but Dornogal, so going over to Dornogal. This right here is going to be the capital city. I haven't really been here. Yeah, I have, but we can't really see that much. based on this map, but for the most part the profession trainers are around the trading post, both in the middle and to the left. There are some in other places as well, so it should be fairly easy to find the profession trainers in Dornogal, and they are in the first zone. Roughly in the first 30 minutes of gameplay in the War Within, you will naturally find these profession trainers. Now if you want to take it one step further, you can literally just fly there at the start and then fly back as well. In addition, specifically when it comes to herbalism and mining, druids have the advantage of being able to pick up specifically herbs while being in flight form, and also with the new addition of dragon flying working on every single mount including flight form, we can pick up herbs in flight form and then just fly away, which other classes cannot do for a while, because you do eventually get the, you have in Bountiful Harvest, I think it is, you have the ability to, in one of them, you have the ability to start flying and gathering objects while you're on a mount. So over in Botany, you can max out the regular Botany tree, and all the way after spending 40 points here, you will then learn how to gather Cas Algarm herbs while you're mounted. So druids basically get that one for free if you want to skip that one, that way you don't have to spend those skill points, even though whenever you're doing gathering, you kind of want to have those skill points eventually anyway. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Now, once again, I'll be having dedicated videos for every single profession, going more in depth in the next couple of days, showing you, for example, a enchanting gold making guide for the War Within based on the alpha, a leatherworking guide, skinning guide, all the professions we have access to right now on the alpha. I'll be showing you what we know so far and my early thoughts about them as well. And if you want to have even more access to more gold making stuff, check out my gold making guides and my Patreon page, the links will be down below, and that way you can support me and get the hottest gold making tips and tricks and secrets in return at the same time. Either way, that's what I have for you today, so if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.